22 minutes to 5, and for those of you who know me, of course, since I started back here in April, we've been running a little thing called Star Spot, and I get amazed at the amount of talent that we have, as always, in our province here. Not always young, not always old, but a mixture of everything. What with instrumentalists and singers and songwriters. There's a young lad with me now who's just turned 18, and he comes from Lurgan, and there's a big day coming up on Sunday, of course, Remembrance Day, but he has already been performing at the Waterfront Hall at the British Legion's annual Festival of Remembrance, and it just happens to be his debut single, which is simply called, in brackets, War Takes a Certain State of Mind. And I'll leave that to your own judgment as well, as we have a listen to David Patterson and his brand new debut single.
We a nation so misled to all truths we are blind, that war is no routine, it takes a certain state of mind.
What beautiful lyrics. Absolutely incredible. That's my guest, who is David Patterson, with me now. And believe it or not, he's been singing professionally for only about 8 months, and he wrote that song in 15 minutes. Are you kidding me? Are you serious?
No, 15 minutes, yeah.
But you wrote it as a poem originally, didn't you?
Yeah, I didn't have the guitar with me, so just scribbled it down on a bit of paper.
You know, I can just imagine the hush in the Waterfront Hall last Saturday night on the annual Festival of Remembrance when you sang those beautiful lyrics. It must have brought the place down.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Was it daunting for you?
I was nervous, yeah, but, you know, it's the sort of thing you aren't putting yourself out there, you're putting the song out there, so you just let the song carry itself.
Yeah.
So once I got going and just got the momentum built, it was fine.
Brilliant. Was it written as a song or a poem?
Well, you know, whenever it comes to writing, even if it is just a poem that I'm writing, I will sort of have a melody in my head, you know, and I sort of knew how I wanted it to sound, and it was probably a couple of days after I wrote it, I sort of picked up the guitar and put the tune to it.
And you've only been playing the guitar 4 years now?
4 years, yeah. I learnt on an old Yamaha FG 180. I still use it. It's a beautiful guitar, beautiful sounding guitar.
I mean, I'm sitting here totally amazed that you wrote that in 15 minutes, only been 8 months singing professionally, playing the guitar for 4 years, and you're only 18. It's incredible. How did all this start? I mean, where did the influences come? Because you note down as some of your influences Woody Guthrie, Hank Williams, and Buddy Holly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not the sort of associated with an 18-year-old. The sort of, I mean, they're legends in their own time, of course.
Oh, yeah. It all sort of kicked off, I guess. Well, like my earliest memory of music, my dad would have played an awful lot of the country and the folk, and the earliest song I can remember is Big Rock Candy Mountain, Burl Ives.
I played it last week.
Really?
I can't believe it, yes.
Oh, it's a great song. That's my earliest memory, and then, of course, Hank Williams and Elvis Presley, they were all sort of played.
And Buddy Holly, you were saying?
Buddy Holly too. Although I didn't, you know, at the time I didn't know who they were. It wasn't until a few years back, you know, whenever I started to play the guitar and look into this, I realised, oh, I remember that from my childhood, you know, and started to discover all these different artists.
You see, I would term you more as a troubadour, because you do story songs, really. And all of your songs have a purpose and a meaning. Why did you write that about war? Are you very much anti-war?
Well, you know, people have they've listened to that song and they'll say it's an anti-war song, but I certainly didn't write it like that. It sort of took that on itself. I sort of wrote it, I suppose the best way to describe it, as a prayer, I guess. I wrote it with a friend of mine in mind who joined the army recently. Yeah. And, I mean, like, from there it's sort of, it's branched out on its own, you know, maybe it is anti-war, maybe it's, you know, support our troops, but to me personally it's a prayer, I guess. I
have to tell some of the young ladies out there, you're not unlike James Blunt, by the way. I'm sure people have already told you that anyway. Yeah. So, and he was an ex-army guy, officer too, and he's very much into that sort of writing. An album, I suppose, is the next on the cards?
Yeah, well, there's certainly things in the pipeline, so keep your eyes peeled.
Well, I would say, young David, if you keep writing like this, we're going to see a lot more of you too, because it's absolute perfection, this particular single. Is it a 2-track single?
Yeah, the B-side, it's called Winter Smoke.
Tell me about that.
That's a song, I wrote that, I guess. I wrote that one in school, actually, last year, in the school library.
Wow.
And about...
You're going to tell me 10 minutes
10
now.
or 15 minutes, yeah.
Wow.
It's all about my school formal. Sort of all the feelings and whatnot from that night, and it just came out in that sort of abstract, sort of wordy song.
Yeah. I'm totally amazed. I mean, I never fail to get amazed on the Star Spot anyway, when young people walk in and they're just, it's superb. Absolutely superb. I wish you well. Can people get this single?
Yeah, it's available on iTunes, Amazon. You can get physical copies if you come to see me in concert.
Where are you going to be appearing next so people could see you?
I'm at the Marketplace Theatre in Armagh this Friday. It's a remembrance concert.
Again, yeah.
Yep, doing a 30-minute slot this time.
Wonderful.
So I'll be able to mix it up a bit, cover a variety of songs.
I'm just sitting here in awe of you. You're just incredible. 15 minutes writing a song like that. We'll take a little bit of Winter Smoke, but say to you, all the best for the future.
Thank you very much.
I think you've got a brilliant future ahead of you, and I'm so glad that we found you on Star Spot.
Thank you.
And people have heard this wonderful song that you've done on the radio. And we're going to hear 2 for the price of 1. Thanks a million, David.
Thank you very much.
Don't you forget the name out there, chums. David Patterson.
In many ways this winter, freely dancing.
You can just close your eyes and imagine you're listening to Mr. Zimmerman, Mr. Bob Dylan, reincarnated. What a talented young lad. 18 years of age, songwriting in 10 to 15 minutes, and only been professional for about 8 months. He's at the Armagh in the theatre down there, the Marketplace, this Friday night, another remembrance show. And from what I gather, he tore the place apart last Saturday night at the waterfront, and we are delighted to have him on Star Spot. If you know of anyone like this, get them to send in their CDs, please, to me, songwriters, and we'd be very happy to put you on Star Spot. George Jones, Downtown Radio, Kiltonga Industrial Estate, and it's right here in Newton Arts. Get them in, yes, and you'll be on radio before you know it.